Hi guys, welcome back. Some of the most helpful information that people get is learning from other people. This picture was done by David Larson. I think he did a gorgeous background. Can't say enough, he did a very nice smoky background. Now I know this is a copy, so it came off my machine, so it's not as bright as his. And I understand what he was saying, the paper was not the greatest that he was working on. Books are books. But there are some things that I noticed in the one that he sent me and in this that he can correct, and everybody could correct on their pictures, that will make this pop off the page. He did a very smooth job with his color lay down. I'm going to help him now with some of the other things on here that he can change that will make this picture just go off the chart. Now, I could see in these areas where there was ink at one point when he was working on it, it came with the, with the picture. These are great if this was a grayscale. If they are great for new people to learn from. The main problem with his picture is that he didn't stretch out his tones. Now, as a beginner, you concentrate more on color blends. As you get more and more into coloring and into art, you learn that the same color can have different degrees of light. So we're going to take this picture to the next level by showing you where to darken in your areas to make this pop. Now, I don't have any pencil on the page to blend, so mine's going to be a little bit weird looking, but you'll understand as I'm going. Now I'm using the Starjoy. He's using Starjoy, and I'm using Ladybug. I'm going to assume that he was using Ladybug on this. That's kind of what the color looks like. And I'm going to get out some brownish reds. Let's see. They're in the skin tones. Let's see. Barbecue. Yes, okay, I have barbecue. Now, in the areas that go in, you're going to darken up. So that would be all in this area, and I know it's going to look a little bit weird because I have no pencil on this paper, but you'll see that if you darken up these areas, so that the tone is different. On all of these areas, the tone is just too similar. So you're going to get in there, get into the cracks and crevices. And as I said, it would look much better if I had wax in there. So as you're getting, and you're working on your scales, you've got your reds in there. Now watch what happens to this scale when I put a blend on it. Darker at the top, going lighter over here. Now I'm going to do the next scale. Darker at the top. And now we have this scale right here. These two scales, okay, darker, and then going into lighter. Okay, as you work your way around the face, it's all going to start to pop. And each scale is going to have a lot of detail in it. Okay, so you work your way around wherever you go in, and you get in those little crevices with a darker pencil. Don't be afraid to use color. Now, all this area would be darker. Here would be lighter. Okay, right in here would go darker because you want to make it round. And then lighter at the top to make this area in here recess in. Now I've been working 5 minutes less, and look already how this is starting to shape. And that's only with a few minutes of work. Okay. Then at the very top, you can add in your highlights. So like right here where the nostril goes, right at the top, a little striking white. Up here, you'd have a little bit of striking of white. Right in here as the ridge goes up. And then in here, where the ridge goes in, you would be dark. And you just keep working at it with the same colors. Just follow it around. These two pencils are going to blend in with each other beautifully. Very little effort. And watch what happens right in this ridge, right in here. When I darken that space up, just a few minutes of work, darkening in here. Then you do the same thing, dark to light. And then this part would be light. Here would be dark. As the scales balance, like go over each other, this part would be light because it's over that area. This would be dark because it's under. Think of it as a shadowed area. Then there's a little crease in here. And already look at that, how much better that is. Okay. Now the other area on here that you're having issue, this should be way darker than over here. So you have like a crease going right in here. Right in here would be light. I'm doing this so fast. Get a little bit of light going in the cheek area. Blend that in. I love doing dragons. It's so much fun. That would be a highlight area. Now look how that's coming to life. Now, underneath in here, all of this should be in a shadow. Okay, of course, way neater than what I'm doing. In addition to the details on the scales, everything that's under would be dark. Now see that popping? Then in between the teeth would be darker. Really make those teeth stand out. And let's get some shine going on those teeth. Everything in here under the tongue would be darker. Now you can get into the grays and everything, but I'm just making this simple for you. Now see how the tongue is coming out? This color you made the same as the color out here. This would be way darker because it's, first of all, shadowed by the upper snout area, but it's going back into the mouth. I wouldn't even go with the darker green. I would go right to gray. Get all of this shadowed. And don't be afraid to get dark, because this would be a naturally very dark area. Underneath, a little bit darker. Now, when you look at the tongue, and it's got that bright spot on it, it stands out. And you can even add in a little bit of white, where it really goes. Okay? Now the hair, or whatever these things are that are in there. You want to go deep into them and get dark Let me see, that's midnight now. Okay, so I have my gray. This just happens to be gray too. I'm going to get all these area that's in here. Over that red, I'm going to go in with gray. All these deeper areas. Because the deeper you go, the more the hair is going to stick out. Don't go black. Just dark. Then go in for the individual strands. The bottom parts should be dark. Where that go, we haven't done hair yet, so it'll make more sense once we do the hair lesson. Everywhere that there's a bump, that would be your lightest area. Okay, and then it would go down. This is on top of this, so right in here would be darker. Here would be darker. These are lessons I haven't given you yet, but if you keep following that, the way I'm doing it for the whole entire thing, the whole picture is going to pop. You did a really good base. You have a lot to work with here. Lots of detail on this. I'd love to know where you got this picture. Please leave it in the comment section. Now, another area over here where it twists, you would catch the light over here, but right in here is way too light. This would be naturally dark, and it would go into the light over here, with the bottom part of that being dark. Okay, and you see how now it really twists around? Same thing in here. As we go in, I already did, I think, the arrows lesson here. Everywhere that you have an arrow, and this would be considered where an arrow would be darker, because these two areas are coming together. Down underneath the chin, right in here, would be way darker. And as I said, don't be afraid of color. Okay, now the light would be striking over here, so that would look really good, making it light, which you did, which looks really good. But then underneath this scale to this scale, it would get dark. And then you would get light again as the light strikes it. And that's how I would finish this off. But you're right there. This is really very easy fixes, and you're doing a great job. I'd love to see this again when you're done. And with that, we will see you in your next lesson. Take care. Bye-bye.